Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And I beg to move that pursuant to Article 5 of the Protocol to the Treaty establishing the African Economic Community and relating to the Pan-African Parliament, this House approves the appointment of the following members of Parliament to the Pan-African Parliament. 1, the Honorable Rehab Mukami Wachira MP. 2, the Honorable Joseph Kalasinga Majimbo MP. 3, the Honorable Esther Muthoni Passaris OGW MP. 4, Senator Professor Margaret Kamar EGH MP. And 5, Senator Danson Mungatana MGH MP. Honorable Speaker, looking at this list, Honorable Speaker, you will see the need for representation from across the political divide, Honorable Speaker. That is where you will find members from both the minority and the majority, with the minority represented by Senator Kamar and the Honorable Esther Passaris, who also represents the great county of Nairobi. Honorable Speaker, we've also endeavored to see that there is regional balance in terms of the areas where these members of parliament come from, and also party representation, including our non-parliamentary political parties. That's why you see the Honorable Danson Mungatana from UDA, the Honorable Joseph Kalasinga Majimbo from Ford Kenya. Honorable Speaker, this is pursuant to the objectives of the Pan-African Parliament, Honorable Speaker, which, when it was formed, intended to create a platform for people from all African states to be involved in discussions and decision-making on the problems and challenges facing the African continent. And Honorable Speaker, members are aware that this parliament sits in Midrand in South Africa, and these members will occasionally need to travel to Midrand, South Africa for the sittings of this House, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, rather than members being elected through universal suffrage by the people, it became customary that the Pan-African Parliament members are designated by parliaments or legislatures of their member states, and the members of their domestic legislatures, Honorable Speaker, and that is why we go through this process through such a motion to approve such nominees to go and represent the people of Kenya and definitely the greater people of the African continent, and speak to issues that are of concern to the people, not just the people of Kenya, but Africans at large, and engage on issues to do with economic development and integration of the continent. Honorable Speaker, I want to challenge the members, if approved this afternoon, the Honorable Mukami, the Honorable Kalasinga, the Honorable Esther Passaris, Senators Mungatana and Senator Margaret Kamar, to represent our country with honor, and both this House and the other House with honor whenever the House sits. Please articulate issues that are of concern, as I said, not just to the Kenyan people, but to Africans at large. We should be a continent and a people who should be proud of our own heritage, a people who have the determination and the zeal to develop our continent together. I would really want to encourage these members, Honorable Speaker, to engage our colleagues from the other countries in our region, especially on the question of the African Free Trade Area, those of our colleagues in the East African community, for us as an African continent to continuously open up our borders. We have a continent that has very huge potential, Honorable Speaker, with a young population, a very productive population, well-educated in many countries in Africa, and therefore there are many opportunities that we can use through such legislatures to explore opportunities for jobs within our continent, Honorable Speaker, and even outside our continent, to be able to export labor to those other continents, like in the Far East and in the West, where there is a dwindling population of young, productive Kenyan, sorry, not Kenyans, but citizens, Honorable Speaker. It's only that now I'm accustomed to Kenya. But there are countries, especially in the West and the Far East, that their populations are increasingly aging, and the working population is dwindling. Whereas in Africa, in Kenya, in Africa, we have a huge depository of young people who are very educated with good skills. In our own country here, Honorable Speaker, we have young children, or rather young men and women who have good skills, who speak English fluently, and therefore are able to easily and quickly access job opportunities in English-speaking countries, and even others in French-speaking and even Portuguese-speaking countries. Our young people in this country have learned this foreign language, and therefore we can explore opportunities. And it is through such fora, like Pan-African Parliament, that we can be able to bargain as a continent, even for opportunities in other continents for our people. And also to be able to develop our countries in our respective regions, be it through EAC, COMESA, and all the other regional blocks. And as I said, to open up our borders to ensure that we are all trading. We pride ourselves when, as a country, we say that our greatest or our largest bilateral trading partner, for instance, is Uganda. That is the way it should be. And the balance of trade between us and our regional partners and our regional neighbors should not be so huge. We should be able to export what we are able to export to Uganda. And for instance, at a time like this when we have drought, and probably Uganda, Zambia, Tanzania have maize, have other food crops that we could be able to export to them, import from them, Honorable Speaker. We are able to do that without unnecessary hindrances and barriers of trade. Honorable Speaker, I don't want to say much on this, and I want to request the Honorable Robert Mbui, the Deputy Leader of Minority and member for Kathiani, to second as I beg to move. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
I second.
That is all? Honourable members, I propose the question, which is that pursuant to Article 5 of the Protocol to the Treaty establishing the African Economic Community and relating to the Pan-African Parliament, this House approves the appointment of the following members of Parliament to the Pan-African Parliament. 1, the Honourable Rahab Mukami Wachira, MP. 2, the Honourable Joseph Kalasinga Majimbo, MP. 3,